Isaac, but for just a handful of times. But I know that without him, my sister would either not be here or just be a very different person. And I cherish my sister so much, and I'm so grateful she's in my life. I don't know what I would do without her, honestly. I never, like I said, I never really got to know Isaac. I saw him a couple times. I saw him on a play that he did once, and he was a butterfly. He always made the crowd laugh when he said silly things. The past few weeks that my sister has come to live back with me and my family, I've heard a lot of stories about Isaac that I haven't heard before. I have new songs added to my agenda, wagons and various other haughty duck songs. I'm so grateful that he was in my sister's life. And I'm grateful that I know now what true love really is. I don't think there's a better example or a better definition than just see the way he treated my sister. She cleaning her room for a place and she just had giant tubs of beautiful letters that all began having full Isaac's love. It's apparent that he loved her very much. And I personally hope that nobody challenges me on if people who are attracted to the same gender really love each other, because that might just rip their heads off. But I just want to thank Isaac for being the incredible person that he was.
Honestly, very short. That's the one thing I liked about Isaac, is that when you wrap your hand around his shoulder, he was around so many too, which is not very fun for a lot of us, for shorter. I was so scared to come in here, which is weird, but since I'm always up here. I actually didn't remember when I met Isaac. He actually brought me. I apparently opened the door for him in an all meeting, and then it just went from there. And I had thought of everything I was going to say, then I forgot. I thought about that when I met Isaac. His name was Alicia, but as girls can tell you, I couldn't remember that forever. So I couldn't spell the she, which is really difficult. I really needed that. Apparently this was copying, and it was F-R-E-D originally. And then we just blew that out. What is it, P-H-R-E-D-K now? Did a lot of fun with that. I remember that I used to try to make him pancakes. So I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, just feed him before he went to work. Which was really fun. Come back home, with glitter all over. We'd always get into that. It's like the glitter on the food. You can never eat that stuff out. But he was always like an amazing person. He was there for like everybody. To me, he was kind of like a brother. I have brothers, but they're not really that friendly. Once in China, was Japan right now, which is awful fun. Yeah, I forgot most of always told us how beautiful your voice was. And I never heard it before. So, really exciting. I always go to Michael's. It's real camp where the Kingdoms came from. It always smells like cinnamon there. There's no cinnamon. I used to beat him to work too. Just to find him before we left. That was a weird start for camera. But you know, I sent you like what, 500 pictures? And then like 13 videos on YouTube with random stuff. With her arguments. Talking about gods, two-faced gods. Little tiny paper cup thing that he made. I like making paper hats too. And stars. He also always took time out of his day to come play with you. You just wait for him to come back and be like, let's go out for a day. Yeah. There's a lot of memories, but we just feel really short of it. Because it's always can't think of anything. I wore my anime tail just for sport. Yep, Brett.
Isaac was a very big part of my life, and I felt like I should say something. I don't think a lot of people knew from the way that he and I interacted a lot that I admired him very much. I was slightly in awe of him. There's this capacity to be, there's such a big capacity to he's just so much of himself, and I don't know why I thought of this story, but I remember I used to have a job and it involved listening to a lot of really terrible music, and I would complain about that aspect of it a lot. Oh my gosh, all of my office mates were listening to Kesha, and I cannot stand Kesha, and if I hear, Bad Romance one more time, I'm gonna stab someone. and Isaac actually, would always respond like, well, why can't you enjoy it? What is inherently wrong with these noises? Can't you find something in it, even if it's just how much you don't like it, that you enjoy. And I think that was a big part of his lack of judgment and just his capacity to enjoy so many things. He was a pretty good guitarist, and was teaching himself JavaScript, and he was really a good person. Isaac has been a really important part of my journey here in Alberta. If it wasn't for Isaac, I don't know if I would even be here 3 years later. I don't know if I would be the major that I'm at, because I saw him having so much joy in all of the classes that I knew that I wanted to take them. He made everything that much nicer. And he made me that much nicer. And I don't know what more else to say than that. But he was always
on his face, a joke in his step, and a joke in his brain.
And along with that joke in his brain, I don't know why, but I can feel compelled to tell you this story. We have a Gilda's Club in Grand Rapids, which is there to support people who and their families with cancer. And they put on, once a year, a fundraiser that's called Laugh Fest. And a lot of comedians come in, and there's 10 days of comedy on a pretty big scale. My mother decided that once we knew Isaac's diagnosis and we brought her back to Grand Rapids, that we should, every Friday night, have a little laugh fest at the kitchen table with dinner. I worked really hard to come up with the perfect joke for the first laugh fest night at our dinner table. And hopefully you'll appreciate this as much as Alicia did. Knock, knock. Who's there? Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. You don't know who Abraham Lincoln is? She did laugh for a very long time. I want to thank you all for being here today. Living in Milwaukee and going to Alberta made Isaac so very happy. She treasured all of her friendships here. It really helped her blossom into the person she became. She loved the opportunity to participate in the theater. She loved learning guitar from Peter wherever you are. And she just really treasured all of the people here that she got to know. I looked for a poem that I thought really exemplified Isaac's life, and this is what I came up with. It's called Success by Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and love much, to win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest critics, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a little better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded.